Hi, cuties. I'm Lanikia, and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is Days of Our Lives edition. Today is Tuesday, May 24th, 2022. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give this one a solid 7.5. It was good to me. Okay, let's get started with this first story, which is Rafe and no, EJ and Belle. So EJ and Belle are sitting there talking, reminiscing and stuff. And he says, let me go and get some of this good stuff, this scotch. And he said, oh, he drank it all. And she was like, who drank it all? And he said, Clyde. And she said, what was Clyde doing here? So then he tell her about Clyde and how Clyde wanted him to go into business with him. And she said, why would you do that? He said, because he wanted me involved in something illegal so I wouldn't tell what I know. And she said, well, what do you know, EJ? And he said, now, once I tell you this, you know how dangerous Clyde is. Once I tell you this, it'll be putting you in danger. And she said, go on and tell me what it is. So he tells her about how he was running drugs. Clyde was his man, and how Clyde had him shot or whatever. He said he remembered it. So he said, technically, Clyde is the one who tried to kill me. And she was like, oh my God, EJ, you can't live with this or whatever. He said, don't worry, I'm going to get him back. She said, you talking about killing Clyde or whatever? He said, I'm just going to make sure he never is hurts my family again. He said, I can't do it right now because my family would be in danger. Clyde has made it very clear that he would put my family in danger. All right, so Belle says, I'm going to help you. And I said, oh, shucky ducky quack quack. Y'all trying to get Belle and EJ together. That's what y'all trying to do. And nobody's crazy. But anyways, so she said, I'm gonna help you with it or whatever, and we're gonna do it together. And he was like, okay, I'm not gonna hold you long on this one. So she was like, oh, and so he was like, okay, we could do that. So then we see, speaking of Clyde, we see that he's with Ben, and they're celebrating the birth of the baby and how they've come home, and he said, "What you name the baby?" He was like, "I thought you was gonna name the baby after me," and Ben said, "No, Clyde, we were not naming the baby after you, but he has your last name," and he said, "Well, I guess I'll deal with that." He said, but I didn't know he was gonna be named after his other grandpa. He said, but it don't even matter because his other grandpa is not alive, so I'm the only living one. And he says, and Ben says, don't let Sierra hear you say that. What's wrong with you? But anyway, so he's just so happy, to have them in his life or whatever. He said, I gotta get ready for my date because my date is coming over. And he's like, okay, cool. So then his date, of course, was coming over, and we know his date is Nancy. So Nancy was walking in the park, and Leo come up. Her and Leo get into it about Craig because she said, yeah, I heard from Craig. I talk to him regularly. He doesn't want to talk to you because you heard him and you're never going to get to talk to him again. You're right where you belong, not in his life. So Leo going to go and snatch this woman wig off. But that's okay because Rafe was coming through, and Rafe said, give her wig back before I run you through or run into you. Something he said. And so Leo gave the wig back, and he scurried off, right? And so, but then when Rafe left, because Nancy talked to Nicole and Rafe, and she was like, "Oh, the baby's grown so much, and she's beautiful." Nicole, and Nicole was like, "Thank you." And they felt bad for Nancy because she was embarrassed. Which I don't care about. People seeing me without my wig and my head is taped down and stuff. It wasn't like her hair looked a mess or anything. But anyway, she was embarrassed because you don't want people. She didn't want people knowing that, I guess. And so then Leo gonna come back through, and she said, Rafe told you to stay away from me. And she said, and then Nancy said, Rafe told you to stay away from me. And Leo said, I ain't bothering you, but tell your daughter I'm gonna get her back. I'm coming for her. And Nancy said, what you mean by that? And I said, Lord, Leo. So then we see that Nancy goes and she picks up Clyde, right? And so when she goes and she picks up Clyde, she meets Ben and Sierra, and she was like, yeah, I'm Chloe's mom. And they were like, yeah, or whatever. And she was telling them all the nice things Clyde had to say about them. And they were like, so then Clyde comes out and they leave, and they were like, she's really nice. And, it looks like he got a good one or whatever. So then EJ and Belle are walking through because they got to get something to eat because they all sat here and drank and got tipsy, drinking their sorrows away. And Clyde and Nancy see them, and they like, oh, y'all on a date too? And they was like, nah, this is work related. And so, but there also was a moment when when with EJ and Belle earlier, when she was like, she cares about him, and he said it's the way you said that. She said, "No, I don't read nothing into it." But then when he helped her when she was tipsy, I said, "Oh Lord, y'all finna put EJ and Belle." And quiet as kept, I wouldn't mind seeing EJ and Belle together. But okay, let's move right along. So Clyde and Nancy see EJ and Belle, and they're like, "Y'all go to the date too?" And they said, "No, this is work related." And they said, "Okay, well, all right, enjoy your evening." And so Clyde go on off, and they said, "Oh, I wonder what that's about." Because Clyde don't do anything without having an ulterior motive. Listen, Clyde, don't mess with Nancy. Like, I like me some Nancy. Don't do Nancy wrong, sir. Do not. Let's move right along. So that's the end of those people. Now, speaking of Leo, child. So we see that Xander is calling Sarah. She's not picking up because she don't want to talk to him. He done did her dirty. So Sonny comes in there and he was like, "What's going on?" or whatever. He's like, "I was here waiting on Sarah," and she was like, "Tell me more." So excuse me. So then Xander tell him the whole story about how he lied to Sarah about her baby being born, being alive or whatever, and sent her on this goose chase, looking for her baby when he knew the truth. And Xander, Sonny is like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that." Or whatever. He said that's not helping, and he was just Xander is just like, "I got to go find Sarah because out of sight, out of mind." And so he tells Sonny, "You should be thinking the same thing. I'm not gonna take," because Sonny said, "Just give her a break." He said, "I'm not gonna take advice for you. Your husband is across, in a whole nother state or whatever." And Sonny said, "First of all, sir, me and my husband are doing just fine without you. We don't need, we are doing just fine or whatever." And Xander was like, "Whatever." So then later on, Xander comes back and he says, "Here, I forgot my phone or his keys or something." He said, "But there's a package out there for you." And he said it was from Will and Ariana. It was cookies and stuff, and they congratulated him on being CEO of Titan. And he said, "See what I tell you," or whatever. And Will and Xander said, "Oh, just shut up." So okay, so then Xander, I mean, Sonny eating the cookies, and he sends a message to Will and Ariana saying, "I got your cookies. I've already eaten two. Thank you so much for the package and everything." And so then Leo stops by, and Leo has an edible arrangement. And I'm about to go to the store and buy me some fruit because that was looking delicious. But he has an edible arrangement, right? And so they're doing the edible. He's like, "Come on, you can eat this, or whatever." And Sonny is just like, "What are you doing here?" or whatever. And Leo is just like, everything is fine. You can eat the fruit because Sonny's like, "I'm not eating anything from you. I don't want anything from you or whatever. You're always up to something." He said, "There's nothing wrong with the fruit." Then Sonny gonna get a text from Will, and he said, "We ain't seen you nothing." And Sonny said, all of a sudden, and I said, "Really, Sonny? As soon as you get the message that we didn't send you anything, now you start feeling bad enough to pass out. You need to call." I was like, "Please text somebody before you pass out," but he didn't. So he all on the floor laid out, and Leo said, "I told you there was nothing wrong with the fruit. Now those cookies." I said, "Leo, you wrong for this. What are you about to do? Like what are you about to do?" Oh my goodness. But that's how I ended with them, y'all. Let's move right along. Um, who else do we see? We see Sarah and Sarah is at Eric's place, right? And she's going through it like she really emotional and everything because she cannot believe that she lost her baby. She's having to go through that, and then on top of that, the way Sander lied to her about it in the past and in the present. And so Eric goes down because he tells her, "You can stay here as long as you want to." He goes down or whatever, and to get them something to eat. And he sees Holly come. Nicole's daughter Holly is like, "Eric," and she's like, "You about to get back with my mommy?" And he's like, "No, mommy, your mom was with Rafe. He's a good man and all this." So then they start talking about Sarah, and he says, "I was just coming to get to get something to eat or whatever." And Nicole starts talking about how bad she feels for Sarah and everything. And so they could talk. Rafe takes Holly to get some strawberry pie. I was like, I've never had strawberry pie. Anyways, he takes Nicole to get, I mean, Holly to get some strawberry pie, and she says so they can talk or whatever. And he was like, yeah. So then we see that while they go, y'all, I'm still kind of tired from my trip, so I'm like out of it. So then we see while they're doing no, oh well, I guess I am done. So then we see while they're getting the strawberry pie and everything that Rafe and Nicole just talk about Sarah, and she's like, I can't believe, she said, I told Xander, you man up and tell her the truth. He said, yeah, but he didn't, so I had to. Well, Eric, you ain't really give him that much a chance because he couldn't find Nicole. I mean, he couldn't find Sarah to tell her the truth, and your buddy had already found her and was telling her. But that's your fault, Xander, because you shouldn't have left it open for somebody else to be able to tell her. And so she was like, I'm glad you told her, whatever. So then Sarah comes down, and she's so emotional when she talks. Like, I felt bad for Sarah. Like, you can't, like, you don't have a heart if you don't feel, if you didn't feel bad for Sarah, because she was just so emotional, and she was apologizing to Nicole, and Nicole was like, no, Sarah, you don't have to apologize or whatever. You didn't know and everything. And so then when she sees Rafe, she just apologizing to him, and he was like, "No, you didn't know," or whatever. It's just I was like, "Oh, damn, Xander, oh, let's get on my nerves." And so then we see that she just tells them, "I'm sorry," or whatever. They tell her nothing to be sorry about, and they leave. And so once they leave and everything, Xander and Nicole leave or whatever, they go home, right? Excuse me, not Xander and Nicole. Rafe and Nicole leave, they go home, right? And Rafe tells Holly, because she done got dressed for bed, and he tells Holly, I have a surprise for you. And she's like, what is it? And it's a puppy, because she can't have one in the building. So he got her a toy puppy. It was a cute little puppy. And then he told Nicole, I have a surprise for you. And he had went and he had won her like it's a bear thing, but on the inside was a ring. And I said, okay. Rafe said, Eric done came back. Let me mark my territory. You heard me? And so then he went ahead and marked it. Sorry, y'all. He went ahead and he's gonna propose to her, I guess. So that's it for them, y'all. So then going back to Sarah, she upstairs, she eating with Eric or whatever. He said, I want to see you eat something. And she said, it just right now, it just feels like I'll never be able to get over this. I'll never be able to get over it or whatever. He said, you forgave him before or whatever. And she said, I don't know. I don't know how. So then Xander gonna knock on the door, and he was like, Sarah, I know you're in there. I can't do Xander. I could do Steffi though. He was like, Sarah, I know you're in there. And she was like, ugh. And she was like, well, yeah, I'm gonna have to go, because Eric was like, you want me to get rid of him? She said, no, he'll just come back, so let me just go and talk to him and get rid of him. And so he opens the door or whatever, and he says, I know y'all like Xander, I can't stand him. But he opens the door, Eric opens the door, and he says, Xander says, I need to speak to Sarah Long. And she said, Eric, you stay. Xander, say what you got to say. So he apologizes and does all that. And she tells him, I can't forgive you for this. Like, you hurt me, boy. You hurt me. Like, I can't forgive you. I can't believe you even did that to me or whatever. And he trying to apologize, but she's not trying. She's not trying to hear this. And so then she says, Eric says I can stay here as long as I want to. And Sandra gonna say, what would the Vatican feel about that? And Eric said, I'm not gonna even justify that with a comment like, sir, what you think finna happen between these two? Like, that's an insult. Like, people be saying little slick comments thinking they digging at one person. You insulted Sarah while you was trying to get a blow in with Eric. Whew, child. But anyways, so that was it. She just told him, I'll never forgive you. And he told her, I'm not giving up on you, Sarah. I'm not. I'll be back. I'm not giving up on this. And I said, please give up. I know some of y'all, I mean, most of y'all like them together, but I can't stand it together. Like, ugh. And that was the Days of Our Lives, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Even if you don't subscribe, that's okay. I will still be making these videos, but hit that like button for me, please. All right, bye.